So the last responsive format we're going to take a look at is Flexbox. And we're starting with the same starter page that we had before. And I'm going to open this in VS Code. This is probably my least favorite, although students really like it. It's my least favorite because you just don't have quite as much control when you're using it. And in order for you to have more control, it requires a lot more coding. But we are going to review just in case this is the format that you choose to use for your first assignment. Let's see. So with Flexbox, you do need a container, and then you need to set up the areas that are going to be flexible. So our container is going to be article. Because the area that we really want to be flexible, to show in multiple columns, is this area with the dogs. So in our article code, we need to set the display to flex. And I can see we don't have anything for article. Styling for sections. Okay, yeah, I can see I have more than one typo. Feel free to fix that. We are going to add article above that. So this is going to be our flexible container. And the direction that we want our flexible boxes to display is in rows. And we want the width of this section to be 100%, but we do want the content to wrap. So that's setting up our flexible container. And then we still have to tell it what areas are going to serve as the flexible boxes. And that is our sections. So down here under where we've got the sections within the article, we're going to say flex 1. So that'll make each of those sections a flexible box. Now, I think we're going to set a minimum width on these of 100%. We don't really want our flexible boxes to be smaller. And if it can't display all of the content, we really only want things to scroll down. I'm going to get rid of our maximum height here. And I'm going to change our overflow. So we really want the vertical overflow to be automatic, so you can scroll down. But we don't want to scroll to the right or horizontally. So we're going to hide that horizontal scroll bar. Okay, so this is considered mobile first because we've got our width set to 100. And we'll say this is actually mobile first styling. And right now that's it's very similar to what we have now, okay, because we've got the widths at 100. So we do need to set up the styling that we might want for our tablet and our desktop. And for simplicity, we are just going to make those the same. So we're going to do a media query. And we're going to set a minimum width of 600. So basically, if the width is 600 or more, then it's going to come through this little section and use the settings that we specify. And so we're going to set up a minimum width here of 20% of the original and a maximum width of 50% of the original. And remember, with Flexbox, it likes to change the size of the boxes. So you do want to set up a minimum and a maximum. And this is for article section. And we did not set up a minimum and a maximum for mobile first because we just set the width to 100%. There was no need for a minimum and a maximum. However, for tablet and desktop, we do need some constraints as far as size goes. We will do a maximum height here as well of 400. And let's round the corners of our boxes because that makes them look nice. Let's put a little shadow on the outside of the box. And we'll add a little margin, which is going to give us space around the outside of the box. Okay, and it's going to pick this up whenever the width is 600 or more. So let's save this. And we're going to reload. So this is obviously more than 600 pixels wide. And so you can see what it did with the boxes. And it's only this section in the middle that is in the flexible container. Okay, because we added display flex to the article tag. Now, if we start doing a little resizing, you may notice that the size of the boxes is changing, which is what Flexbox does. You'll also notice that if all of the content doesn't fit, we are getting that vertical scroll, but we are not getting a horizontal scroll because we turned that off. When we get to less than 600 pixels, that is when we get into this mobile format. Okay, so you can kind of see. And we set the maximum and minimums kind of close together. 20 for the minimum, 50 for the maximum. And so there's not going to be a whole lot of variance in our box sizes, because on this page, that really wouldn't look very good. Okay, but that is Flexbox. So 3 different ways of creating a responsive page. The one that gives you the absolute most control is CSS Grid. Okay, Grid View is pretty easy to implement. Gives you kind of a medium amount of control. It gives you less than CSS Grid, but more than Flexbox. Flexbox gives you the least amount of control. Okay, but it is a very quick, easy way to get your page responsive.